Hi, folks. I'm here. And my light is shit, so I apologize. I think I'm going to have to move it. Welcome to Restore Belief with Nikki. I'm Nikki Jacobs. And tonight, this has got to get moved. So maybe you can actually see me. There we go. Anyway. Come on in, grab a cuppa, whatever you wanna. Oh my, Robert. Hey, Amy. And excuse the chair, it's gonna make all kinds of squeakies as it gets older. Or join the club. Anyhow, welcome, folks. And I apologize ahead of time because I'm still got the cough and congestion and stuff, but it's nothing like it was, and I know my voice still doesn't sound quite right. Enough said on that lovely little thing. Anyhow, tonight we're going to be talking about targeted individuals. And if you are one, what you can potentially do or try to do for yourself. There we go. So if you are a targeted individual, and targeted, I specifically mean by government, okay? There's a difference. I'm not talking about stalking from some personal reason or thing of that nature. I'm specifically talking about the issue. Dang it, excuse me. Here we go. The issue of if you are an abductee, if you're part of my labs, if you're part of MK Ultra or Secret Space Program or something, and you're actually talking about your experiences and you're getting, hey, Joe. Hi, hon. And you're getting, hello, Joe, Robert, and Amy. Hi, guys. Very much appreciate you coming in. And for those that watch the replay, thank you. I'm going to do this before I forget. Please like, subscribe, and share if you find the information valuable and know people that it may help. Because that's one of the reasons why I do this, is to help individuals who may be going through different things, whether you're an ET abductee or a targeted individual. I know quite a few targeted individuals, actually. And most of it is because they are talking publicly. They're not staying quiet anymore. And they're getting nailed for it. That's not okay. Government doing that is absolutely not okay. In taking actions against specifically its own citizens. They're so desperate in trying to keep information hidden and secret that they don't give two shits about who they're targeting and how they're targeting them. I personally have been in a vehicle where a black vehicle and a white vehicle, different occasions, very different occasions, different time, excuse me, a number of months apart, versus the black vehicle versus the white vehicle. Color vehicle actually makes a difference as to who you're dealing with. I'm not even going there, but in that sense of getting into that description. So you can have a follower in a what I call an SUV. It's not called an SUV. I just don't remember the type of vehicle it's called right now. Doesn't matter. The point is that they're usually bigger vehicles. They're usually driven by somebody who is CIA. FYI, I had a friend in government who has been deceased a while, and while he was alive, told me specific ways to watch for. Thank God he did. Otherwise I would have been completely oblivious. Anyway, he knew for really good reasons why, as to how they are trained into taking out a vehicle on the freeway, or for that matter, on any road. Um, how to, I'm trying to remember how it was worded, um, how to bump it just the right way. And even if you've been driving for 40 years, 30, 40 years, you can still, unless you know how to get yourself out of it during the driving, out of a unexpected bump, the kind of bump that could lead to a very deadly accident. Um, there were things that he told me. Um, and I honestly, I very much appreciate the fact that he did. Um, he also told me what to watch out for, what to, and this was years before I ever came out publicly. Um, I don't know about law enforcement, but I know they train FBI agent. This is what I was told. They train FBI agents and they train CIA agents. I was also told other agencies, and I'm not naming the other agencies. Those are the 2 3-letter agencies that I will publicly state about. Um, there were other agencies, a few others. Um, and with the kind of work that he did for the government, um, the fact that he even trusted anybody, he was like, "I trust you, Nikki," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And I didn't speak about. I kept my mouth shut, man. It wasn't until after he was gone, that physically deceased, um, where he was taken out by another country. I will say that. I think I've said that maybe once before. No, twice before. Once was right after he passed, like 2, 3 weeks after. I think that's right, about 2, 3 weeks after he passed, because I was in so much pain and grief, and I never should have said anything back then. But, yeah, I knew before even his own government handlers knew that he was dead, because he came straight to me, and he showed me how he was taken out. Um, I just but that's all beside the point. So if you're targeted, there are certain things that you need to pay attention. Make notes, journal notes. I talk about journal notes all the time now because it is so important. And it's also important that you document this, whether it's on your tech calendar, such as your phone or some kind of device, but also in writing, and lock everything down. Double or triple lock it. If you are a targeted individual, double or triple lock that stuff down. Um, However you find that you can lock it down, because you need to document that shit. It also will show you that, yeah, you're not imagining shit. This is really taking place. It's really happening. Um, and it is that important. It also definitively shows you, how often you are being targeted. So when I started getting targeted, not with the astral asshats, but with the do weapons, I started. Everything is in my journal notes, man. I make no bones about that. I mean, and I've had asshats. Excuse me. I've had government asshats in my home. Just missed them. I mean, like literally, just missed them, and that was Um, and I knew that they were there because I could smell them and I could taste them. by their smell, and I could psychically see where they went and what they went through. I know what they've got on me, what they think they've got on me. Because they've been through my home twice. The first time was with two guys. The second time was with a younger guy, a single younger guy, and entered the apartment while I was gone with a family member. And yeah, um, I knew what they looked like. I knew what the matter of fact, I saw the guy. I physically saw the guy and I went, "Oh, son of a bitch." As oh, we were in the parking lot and I saw him walking. Um and I literally tracked his energy right back to his vehicle. Where he had gotten out of his vehicle, what the vehicle was. Um, I didn't have paper and pen at the time, but I did make digital notation of it, and then I documented it right after that so that that information wouldn't disappear from my phone. Because that's the other thing is if you've got a device that is connected to the internet, um, they can they can get into your devices. I mean, it's pretty easy to do. People say, "Oh no, it's not." Yeah, it actually is. Um, I know some computer guru, what I call kids. They're not kids by any stretch, but yeah. Excuse me. So which anyway, so I've learned because of these savants, these people that I know that are computer gurus to me. Um, so the things that you need to do for yourself are track it. The other thing is that if you are being targeted via energy or psionic weapons, to me that's all energy. It's all frequent psionics and do and all of that. It's all frequency weapons. Um, I'm not answering that question, Amy. I'm not even going to say it out loud. But um, so but you make a very good point. Um, see the chat if excuse me, see the chat if you want to know what she asked or commented on. So excuse me, my point is document everything. Um, the energy weapons, uh, deal with high fat content, especially if you're dealing with energy weapons that affect the brain. They're going to affect the brain and body. They're literally trying to make you sick, physically ill so that you die. I'm not joking when I say that. Um, high fat content, and I'm talking specific kinds of fat you need to look into and research on your own. I'm not going to give that information to you, but look into specific kinds of fat that affect the brain, affect the body. Look into things that affect, look into vitamin supplementations that affect the brain in a positive way. Look into forms of energy workers who deal with healing. But the key factor in with energy workers, hang on, excuse me, the key factor with those energy workers is you have to also do the work. Okay. So it's not just the energy worker trying to heal you, it's also you making changes in your life to heal you. You have to take the initiative. You have to do what it takes if you want to live and survive through it and be a witness to it and come out and talk publicly. If you're not ready to talk publicly, then don't. By God, don't. If it's not safe for you, then don't. I'm getting nailed no matter what I talk about. So I'm like, screw it, F it. It is what it is. Um, Amy, I would get those deployable spikes that come out of the hub. It would be like Road Warrior. Yeah. Yeah. Um, you can use your own energy and create energy protection bubbles around yourself. That's not necessarily going to work with frequency weapons. However, there are things that you can do for yourself. There are vitamin supplementations. There are herbs that you can do. There are um, healthy fats that you can do. There are now. I'm going to leave it at vitamin supplementation. Look into those things. Do your extensive research because it will make a difference. I am living proof of it. Also, look at if you're having memory problems because of extreme energy weapons that are being used on you or on while you're home or driving or wherever. Look into Faraday cages. Look into what Faraday is. Create if you have a bedroom that you stay in most of the time, where you're living with multiple people because it's just too difficult to live any other way. Create a Faraday cage in your room. Find out how to go about doing that. Buy Faraday fabric. There are other ways and look into certain colors. You can multi-layer your room. You can multi-layer your bed for that matter. Copper is really wonderful. It's stuck on the pre-show screen. Oh, that's good to know. Thank you, Robert. Stuck on the pre-show screen. Hang on, let me double check. Thank you for commenting on that, Robert. Let's see what we can call up here. Ooh, it is stuck on the pre-screen. It had to be on my phone. Okay, let's see what Nope. Okay, I've got it up. Had to log out and go back in. All right, good to know. Yeah. So anyway, so this probably, I don't know. I didn't expect a 3.5 hour show last time over the weekend. And this I expect only to be an hour worth of information. Sorry. A little on the dehydrated side right now, simply because I haven't gotten enough water in today. Which is my water. So that's the other thing. Make sure when you're getting in the specific kinds of high fats, also look into making sure that you're well hydrated. And you not only want to protect your brain, you also want to protect your organs. So look into things that protect the organ and the thyroid as well, because I literally just got shown the thyroid. Better than the 6-hour show. Yeah, right now, yeah, I'm not up for that. I do not have the energy for that. And this chair is squeaking like crazy. Okay, so you have to do what you need to do to protect yourself. And a Faraday box or even a Faraday cage, that's The other thing is keep your phones or your devices away from your bed. It's super easy to track you. And if they're doing it by satellite, they have heat. They can see where you're at. Faraday cage, I'm not sure if that kind of tech can go through a Faraday cage, but I know that the Faraday cages can help minimize or actually stop um, the nailing of people. Excuse me. So be aware of that. I've been, excuse me. I've been told more than twice now how important today was going to be. Um, and I didn't think I was going to come on because I'm really tired. And I've had problems sleeping. Part of that is I'm still recovering from this pneumonia. Um, and still having issues with it. But I am a lot better and my energy is better. It's not better to do a great deal of energy work. I have done a little bit here and there, but it's not anywhere where I'm used to. Um, but it literally doing one thing wipes me out. So I'm very careful right now. But if it's an emergency, I mean like dire emergency, yeah, I'm there. It causes my body issues, but I tend to do things. So all right. So some of the other things, um start dealing with higher protein contents because you're building you can actually look into building muscle, rebuilding muscle, because these energy weapons, they're not only vile, they are really debilitating on the body. Um, and you want the right kind of fats that go to the cellular level. Very serious when I talk about that. Because you want to protect the cell. Well, in order to protect the cell, you've got to look into certain kind of fats. Very specific, and those will help protect the brain and they will help protect the organs as well. Um, because that's what this kind of tech will do to a human body. It will start to destroy the cells. It will start to destroy and bring about, if you've got any potential illness, it can bring about those potential illnesses because of how the energy weapon is being used. And there are many different kinds of energy weapons used on targeted individuals. So take that into consideration. You're not just looking at one kind. There are multiple different kinds and multiple different frequencies. And if they know that you can feel the frequency, then they will change up the frequency so that you can't, or you don't believe you can feel it. Like I'm being nailed right now and I know I'm being nailed and I'm like, fuck you. Um, excuse me. So, um, just be aware of it. Make note of it. Make notation of it. Let's see, it's 7:29 on my clock right now. They started it about 6 minutes ago. 8 minutes ago, about 8 minutes ago. So be aware of that. Write your notes if you're not out in public talking about your experiences. Definitely, just write your journal notes. This is important to your health. It is also important for others if you do start having medical situations that do become life threatening. You can track it back to when it started or when you started noticing it. There's a big difference versus when it started versus when you started noticing it. And an energy weapon on a physical body can feel like heat. It can literally feel like you're being fried. That's because you are. Um, It literally feels like a burning sensation in a localized spot. I've had it all over my body before. I've had it specifically on my spine. I've had it on my shoulders into my neck, going into my brain. They've tried to fry my brain so that I do not have memory, so that I will start forgetting. Look into binaural beats that help the brain. There are all different kind of countermeasures that you can do. You may not be able to stop them from doing specific things, but you can definitely minimize the bullshit um, that you're receiving. I don't know how else to say that. The other thing I would do is I'd put a Faraday cage in the inside of my vehicle. Um, put it on the inside of the roof. Uh, Surround it. If you've got an electronic vehicle, that's the other thing. Remove who can track you, because a lot of these electronic vehicles that have the computer systems in them, they can be tracked if you and unless you've already got this figured out, those vehicles can be tracked to the manufacturer. Well, hello, that's easy access for the government. I mean, they can get in and do anything. So, um, unfortunately, fortunately, but unfortunately, is how that one goes. So, look into um, making sure that you cannot be tracked that way. The other thing is make sure you don't have some kind of device on your vehicle, or some kind of device that has been planted. Um, okay, I was literally just shown a woman's purse. Um, but they can track you via your cell phone device. So keep that in mind as well. Uh, Another one is for protection and things of that nature is to wear a device to where is not tracked. But if you have an emergency, you can hit that immediately. If you've got your cell phone turned off, or if you've got your device turned off. Yeah, I mean, Amy just made a great point. Drive a car from the early 1990s and don't carry any electronics at all, including cell phones. If you have to carry a cell phone, take the chip out. But according to what I've heard some pros talk about recently, yeah, I'm getting nailed. What I've heard about, well, in the last year, I should say recently, in the last year, I've heard some experts talk about how they can even track without the battery. That's the other one. Thank you, Joe, for commenting. I'll read that in just a second. The other thing that I noticed, and people that I know who are targeted have talked about, is during or right after the targeting, anywhere from minutes to a couple of hours, helicopters start flying over. So targeting can be via those types of things as well. For an individual who is a targeted individual, you can, and it's typically, in my experience, it's usually immediately after. Very rarely has it ever been during, but it has been during on a couple of occasions. Well, on more than a couple of, about 4 occasions. 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm trying to think if there was a 4th. I think there was, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, so keep those kind of things in hang on a second. Keep those kind of things in your memory banks regarding that kind of thing. Um, because the energy weapons will take effect on the brain, they will take effect on the body, they will bring about different starts with a C, ends with an R. I usually use the capital letter C and then the number 4 and then the N and a C and a 3 and an R. So it will bring those issues about. Look into things that counteract that. And there are multiple things out in the foods and the herbs that can stop that and can prevent that. Look into them. I'm not going to say what they are. If you want a list, hit me up privately, and I will give you a list of the things that I know of. But you have to do your own research on them. I'll give you the names, but you've got to do your own research into what they specifically go after. Because there are numerous different food things that are useful, and there are numerous different things that can help. And I'm like, okay, they're trying to affect my throat, so I'm going to stop talking. That's not going to happen, MFers, not happening. And it's not from this stuff that I've got. So anyhow, because it hasn't affected my throat. What else? Trying to think of the other things. Vitamin, but I make no bones about it. Vitamin supplementation is very important. Specific fats. Look into that. Do extensive research on it. And the amounts of those fats that it's going to take to help protect the brain, to help create and stimulate new brain cells. Because this is the frying of brain cells, and you want things that will help kind of like restart your brain, so to speak, and frequencies that will help do that as well, that you listen to, binaural beats or solfeggio. So I never pronounced that correctly. I do apologize, but look up binaural beats. You'll find a bunch of different things, but look up specific ones for the brain. And the other thing on that level is to deal with you got to be careful on YouTube regarding which channels are actually doing proper levels of frequency, because true frequency, you will feel it. You will feel it in your brain and your body. Almost for somebody like me, it's instantaneous. It's like I can tell you right now if it's real or not, or if they're just doing music to do music. Look into singing bowls and things like that, because that's a specific frequency as well. If you're targeted in a specific way regarding physically, that's a different ball game. I'm specifically dealing with I'm not dealing with the bruises and scratches on the arms and the legs and the face and all of that. I'm specifically talking tonight about targeted individuals who are experiencing energy weapons. High frequency or even low frequency energy weapons, because that's really where they're making their bank at. And I don't mean money wise, but I mean that's really where they're going for it. Okay, Joe, I've only seen at night a few times near my house strange helicopters either flying over cemetery or flying low over my house. I knew they were looking for something and it had nothing to do with me. Yeah, you'll get that with police helicopters, sometimes a military helicopter, but usually it's a specific you can tell by the sound of the helicopter what kind of helicopter it is, especially if you've been around, and there's so many military bases around the United States that if you live around one, you'll know what they sound like. You'll know if it's going from one military base to another military base. The sound is different. The speed at which they fly, I don't know how else to say that, is also a telltale sign, versus when you're being targeted. Okay, when you're being targeted, it's like a slow flyover. Usually, um, there have been a number of times that I've experienced where, when I was living at my other location, where I had a number of helicopters, one after another, and you could tell by the sound. And sure enough, when I went outside, the last one I saw was a black helicopter. It was a specific kind of black helicopter, and it was military. Um, so keep that kind of thing in mind. Make journal notes. Get this shit written down. It's really important not only for your sanity's sake, but also for documentation's sake. And the reason why I say to write it down, other than to put it into tech, is because, for example, I just had, it was 3 weeks ago, where I mentioned it, where they literally, I unplugged. I was like, "There's no fucking way you're getting anything more from me." Um, they got through my security, and they got a file folder of mine that I mistakenly left on the computer. Anything on any of your devices can be removed. Emails you send or emails you receive can even be screwed with. They can change uh, the language in emails. A lot of times, a lot of targeted individuals, when they go to open up a link from a friend that they know is a friend, that it's a legit email, and they go to open it up, the and or they go to open up the email, I should say specifically, it's the email itself. They open up the email and it's in a completely different language. That's a targeted individual. That's not a computer issue. Typically, it's done in Chinese or some form of Mandarin or language of that nature. Um, and you're not speaking that language, red flag, major red flag. Um, keep those kind of things in mind. Um, your tech things on your devices, they can disappear. I know people to where they have sent text messages to a loved one. I know a number of people that have talked about this, where they've sent text messages to a loved one and it's intercepted. They're not talking anything major. It's nothing. It's completely gone. And yet they've got a record of it on their side. But the friend or family member, it's not, they never received it. Same thing can happen on your phone regarding file folders. If you've got documented file folders, and you're missing a file folder, or you're missing information that you know for a fact you put in there, and you didn't get it to, and it's come up missing, take a look at your things. Get your information off of your devices that you're using. Do not put information. I was trying to think of how to say that. Don't put information into those devices. Use a separate, if you're a targeted individual, find a way to get a used laptop. Set it up with security. Use your other computer or laptop as a form of, this is where I'm putting this stuff for right now. It's not on the internet. It doesn't have access to the net. They can't access it unless they get physically here. And they use a flash drive and take everything off the computer, literally from the flash drive. There's a couple of young guys who worked for the government and who have talked extensively publicly about the kind of things that can be done tech wise. So it's down to the fact of all they have to do is plug in a flash drive. It grabs everything because of how the flash drive has all this tech on it, to where they've got a computer code. It literally steals everything off the laptop, off the computer, and it's a grab and go. It's a stick, and it can seconds. This is no joke. Yeah, Amy said it's meant to be malicious in a way that makes you think you are going crazy. Correct. She's exactly correct. There are people that I know. I was about to say something and I caught myself. There are people that I know, a number of people that I know, that are heavily targeted individuals. They've had the tech, all the kinds of things that I've talked about. They've had that. They've had the repeated helicopters. Anytime they get well, there's a couple of people that I'm thinking of at this very second. Anytime they get targeted, they get 2, 3, and 4 military helicopters flying overhead. No joke. I've actually heard it. Yeah, Amy says use an air-gapped machine, meaning not on the net or connected to Wi-Fi. Correct. She's exactly correct. Look, these kind of things are important. It's important that you understand that you're not going crazy. Granted, there are folks who, now I got called some asshat, well, not government, but some Yahoo, actually called me schizophrenic because I made a comment in a public comment section about government and about extraterrestrials and a number of things. And I talked specifically about the fact that targeted individuals have a really difficult time of it. And he comes across saying, "You're schizophrenic." And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm honest to God, I'm not. I didn't say that. I had some things that I did say publicly on it, because I was like, basically, because you don't like what I talked about, you don't like what was said, you believe everybody that is like this is schizophrenic. All extraterrestrial abductees, or people who've gone through my labs or Montauk or whatever they've gone through regarding any of this subject matters, so all of them are schizophrenic. Or are you just singling me out? And of course, he was just singling me out. But here's the thing. This is why you document everything. This is why you need to understand that this is to make you feel like you're going insane. You're not. Do your own self checks, your own mental self checks. Do your own physical self checks. Talk to your doctors. Get all the current blood labs. If you even suspect you're being targeted, get all of your medical stuff documented. Make sure that you're doing your research. Make sure that you're taking care of your health. Because if you don't, this kind of targeting will make you sick. That's what it's designed to do. And you can fight that. There are ways you can fight that. And those ways are things that I've talked about earlier. The high fats. And I'm not talking like butter fat. I'm talking very specific other things. So, and I don't want to get nailed by YouTube or government specifically because and I don't want government knowing exactly which fats, because then they'll up the ante. Excuse me. The other damn. Man. The other thing, the other thing to look into regarding this kind of targeting is how you want to go about your daily life. How do you want to live on a daily basis while you're dealing with being targeted? You have to also understand, are you singled out where you're living? In other words, do you have 2 or 4 or 5 people living in your home? Are they targeting only you? Is your bedroom above or below somebody else's in an apartment building or in a home? If they're targeting you, they're most likely also targeting who you're living with. Keep that in mind. I know somebody where one person is targeted and the other person who has a room near the targeted individual is also getting nailed by energy. And the results of that are acting like Alzheimer's on the other person. Think about that kind of thing when it doesn't run in their family at all. That is what an energy weapon will do. It makes things very, very difficult to think. And that's why you want the specific kinds of high fats. And it is specific. There are also certain mushrooms that you can use, and I'm not talking psychedelic shit, that will help. So if you use a combination of all those things, you will help yourself. You will help minimize the effects of this bullshit, derogatory, insidious behavior that is being done by the government. All because you know information. All because, do you have a contract with them? When I found out that there are contracts that were signed, Otherworldly Wanderer, hey, welcome to my chat. Dude, hope you are well. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm trying to work on it. Anyway, so please hit the like, subscribe, and share button, folks. This one could help a lot of folks. This one could really help a lot of people. Energy weapon targeting is very real. I was just going to say, take a look at 2 states below me. I'm in Washington State. Take a look at 2 states below me. Also look at what happened in Hawaii. Think about it. So take notice of things, make your journal notes, do what you need to do to protect yourself. Not joking. Notation everything, because you don't know exactly, unless you really get into this, you won't know exactly how they're doing it for you. But remember, energy weapons feel like your skin is on fire. It will feel like you've got burning hot spots inside your body. It can mess with your equilibrium, because it can screw with your ears. It can screw with your blood pressure. It can screw with a lot of medical issues, that you may not have had beforehand. Keep that in mind. This is why I say get all the medical documentation that you can regarding your health before it started and after it started. You don't necessarily have to tell your doctor unless your doctor knows about targeting. Thank God I've got a doctor who does. And I'm so appreciative of that person. Holy shit, that happened to me twice. Yeah. I mean, it can really take effect. It can affect how you sleep. It can affect how, hell, it can affect your own energy. It can change your circadian rhythms. It can do a lot of different things. It can even make you go blind. Uh, it can lead to constant diarrhea. It can lead to, because it screws with the organs. And because it screws with the organs, you got to protect everything in whatever way you can. This means putting out more money towards your health. Most people don't want to do that. But do you want to pass away? Do you want to be dealing with this? No, nobody does. Look into ways that you can protect yourself. Look into ways of helping your body and deal with the cellular level. Because what they're doing is destroying the cellular level, and what you want to do is protect it. Countermeasures, baby. Countermeasures. So find things that will work for your specific kind of targeting. They did mine in such a way to where it finally hit a level to where I had white noise constantly in both ears. I healed that with the help. I personally started working on that, and then I had help. I had help from my hybrid baby, and I had help from a friend. Made a significant difference. So energy, if you are willing to do the work for yourself as well as receiving energy work from somebody, I highly recommend that. But you have to do the work too. Because if you don't, things are just going to go back to same old, same old. You don't want same old, same old. You want healing. So, and you want the targeting to stop. Well, that's a different subject matter. My question is, are they targeting because they see the contracts? They know the contracts? Because this is deep state shit. I mean, this is like really deep state shit. So, and what program were you in to get you targeted? How many of us targeted individuals have died because of being targeted because we know information? How many? I mean, this has been going on for a very long time, and there are many different forms of targeting. It can be everything from what I talked about all the way into them following you into grocery stores, into stores. I hate to say it this way, but be careful who you meet out in public. If you are a TI, a targeted individual, think about who you meet. You also have, do you have controllers in your life? Handlers. Are they people that are constantly putting you down? Are they somebody that is love bombing you? Are they um, so narcissistic? Are they narcissistic, but are they also so narcissistic that you're allowing, because you're not standing up for yourself? How far are you going to let somebody uh, bring you down? Are you going to live like that forever? Are you going to allow yourself to live like that forever, or are you going to leave? You got to think of a number of different factors of how targeting can be. Now, that's a different kind of targeting, but there are people who are considered handlers of targeted individuals. So there's that as well. Family members can even be handlers. Um, Otherworldly wanderer. I'm constantly being stalked by their shadow bodies. Don't worry, I know how to deal with them. Good. Um, so, take notice if you're in a cold environment and you've got a hot spot, whether it's kidneys or your spine or your shoulders or the base of your neck. Vagus nerve is another high targeted area because vagus nerve deals with the entire body. Fascia. Look up what fascia is. F-A-C-H-I-A, I think is how you spell it. Look up what that is. That's underneath the skin layers. Look into that. Make sure your blood vessels are okay. Make sure that like I said, do your research, folks. You don't want to be paranoid. You want to be aware. There's a big difference between being aware, being hyper aware, and being paranoid. There's very big differences. And be very, very careful who you trust. Because I've known people that have said, I thought I could trust this person with my life. And they turned out to be a handler. Think about that. That's really detrimental shit. Really negative, really detrimental shit. So do your research. Research the ever-living shit out of things. Do your deep dives. Same as the research. And if you don't believe me, hell, go straight to the government themselves. CIA has a lot of documents on their CIA.org. But just know you're going to be tracked. You're already tracked, but just know that, that's kind of a thing. So that's pretty much it, what I wanted to talk about. 59 minutes in. If anybody has any questions, feel free to message me or to put it in the chat before I close out. Joe, still to this day and night, when it comes to strange helicopters in the sky, I'm freaking like Radar I'm like Radar O'Reilly from TV show MASH. Yeah. I understand. I completely get it. I totally understand that. That's the other thing. The targeted individual usually becomes very self-aware. And a lot of times they can sense either when it's about to happen or as it's happening, and then they know the that's the other thing. You want to look for patterns, okay? Because there are patterns to this. Unless they start unless they start changing it up like they did with me, because it was 3 days a week. Then it was every day, and then it became 3 days a week over time, and then it shortened it down to once a week, and then it became they changed it back up because I started talking about something specific. They changed it back to 4 days a week. Then they went to 6 days a week. Then it was 7, and then it was back down again. So take notice of things. The other thing is because you're being targeted with these energy weapons, boost your immune system. This is what I have done. Okay? I'm telling you what I personally have done. If you choose to do that, then that's what you choose to do, even though I know what I just said. I've boosted my immune system and boosted my immune system and boosted my immune system. Now, even saying that, I still ended up with pneumonia. And I still nearly ended up in the ER 3 times. That also had to do with the fact that I was heavily targeted during one specific week that I was really ill, because they were trying to make me more ill, enough to do me in, to unalive me. And they'll have consequences for that. The ETs, they know. And I got told on last Saturday, that it went to the ET Congress. That's the quote unquote ET Congress, Extraterrestrial Congress. Specifically got told the word Congress. And it's the very first time I'd ever heard them, because it was an ET that gave me that information, who was watching what was going on. I thought it was a spirit guide, but it wasn't. It was direct from an ET, which is a mind meld right there. So just be aware of that. So it went straight to their their ET. It went straight to their ET Congress, and they're dealing with it, and will be dealing with it in very specific consequences. So trying to figure out how to say what I want to say, and I can't figure. I can't get it wrapped around my head enough to say how I want to say it. So I'm going to try and do reels periodically, just so you guys know and are aware. YouTube reels or Facebook reels. I want this information getting out there more, so that, because there are thousands of targeted individuals and very specific reasons why and how. So I want people to know that there are things that you can do for yourself to help yourself. You're not alone. There are a lot of us out there. And we all need to support each other. We all need to come together and support each other. And we all need to help ourselves, because that's the only way we're going to get through this. And to stay alive. We all have stories and information and life experiences to tell. This is our time to be telling them. Anyhow, any questions? I'm going to give it a moment. Any questions anybody has? If you are watching this as a replay, hit me up with a question on email if you do not want to have it done publicly. In the comment section, if you don't want to leave a message in the comment section, that's fine. Message me on email or private message me on Facebook Messenger. The other thing is get yourself. Hey, Ange. It's great to see you, dear. The other thing to look into is get yourself security regarding text messages that are locked down and secure, or as secure as they're going to be. And I can't think of the name of the company right now. I have to see if I can find it on my phone at this second. I haven't used mine in a while. I should, but I don't. I haven't. Signal. Get yourself the Signal app and look into that because it's coded a specific way and it makes it more difficult for the government hackers. I couldn't think of what they were called. The government hackers, and that'll help significantly. So the other thing you might want to consider is not being online as much. And that's going to be a hard one for somebody who is always online, who always has their stuff. So, or here's another one. Think about if you do have there's a specific manufacturer. I can't think of who it is right now. And I don't remember if it was, what's the guy's name? Ryan. Let's see if I can find him. Sean Ryan? I don't remember if that's his name or not. Yeah, Sean Ryan. They put out a phone that cannot be tracked. So look into the Sean Ryan show. There's a lot of information on his YouTube. Yeah, I saw that phone too, and the fact that I'm targeted, the fact that of a number of issues, if I could afford it, I'd get one. Big time, because of the kind of targeting that I'm dealing with. So anything I say and do anywhere is watched. And that's just how part of being targeted is. It's just part and parcel to it. There is no such thing as privacy anymore. Hell, there wasn't privacy in the 1990s. Our family had a friend who had a close friend who was an FBI agent. That agent specifically told his friend that, yeah, we can listen to any conversation anywhere through the phones. And that was back in the day when you had phones that were, hung on a wall and you'd hang them up and they had the long, 6 foot to 20 foot cords on them. I was horrified by hearing that. I think it was 1998 that I heard that. And the only reason why I heard it was, because I had a family member who was talking to this friend, and I was like, wait a minute, what did you just say? And he's like, yeah, I don't speak it very often, and I don't even know why I'm telling you this. And I thank God for him. I mean, seriously, I was like, What? And he got told, yeah, they're legally supposed to have a was a court order or something for it, but they don't. Excuse me. So, that all said, think about that. That was in 1998. Look at what year it is now. Think about what they can do now. Okay, I was literally just told the word graphene. 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 Look into what that is. Look at how to find out, research how to counteract that. Why I was told graphene, I can only suspect. Okay, I just got told another quote. Graphene and vaccine. I literally just got told that phrase. Do your own research. That's one of my standard responses to people is do your own research. Matter of fact, I should probably put that on a mug, or better yet, on t-shirts and on hats. Nikki says, do your own research. Anyway, and I just realized I'm swollen today, because yesterday I was like this, and I'm swollen today. I didn't even realize that until just now. So anyhow, any questions? Any more comments? Yes, I agree, Ange. So I'm going to read this word by word and not in a sentence. You'll figure out why. Spike. Protein. Elimination. Turmeric. Bromelain. And parasite. Cleanses. We'll see what happens. She's exactly right. I do an extensive amount of research, and she does, and I know she does too. Mwah! Love you, Ange. So anyhow, yeah, do your own research. Okay. Apricot. Look into it. Seeds. Do your own research. Have to when you're targeted. Epsom salts. B17. You know that fruit I said? Look into the kernels. I call them seeds, but look into the kernels. Bicarbonate. Soda. Yeah, Ange says, I know we do our homework. Yes, we do. Yes, we do, dear. You have to. If you want to continue living and you're a targeted individual and you want to basically say to them, do your research. Downloads half the time. Yep. She's not joking. So, do your research. Extensive research. Look into certain things. You will be surprised. Certain fatty acids. Bum, ba-dum, bum. That was bad, but you get the idea. Trying to think of anything else. Like I said, certain kind of fats will help protect the brain. Synapses. So you want the synapses in the brain to become better. That one I'm not reading out loud, Ange. Definitely check the live chat. There's another one that goes with that, but I cannot say it because it'll cause issues in my life. So, but yeah, she's exactly right. That's one of them. You got to protect the brain. And I'm getting nailed again. I'm getting it right here. It's about a spot that's about that big. In the back of my head. Joe says, I got a good one. Last Christmas Eve afternoon, upstairs in my bedroom, for the first time I heard... Joe, I don't remember. Are you in Australia or are you in the US or Canada? I do not remember at this second. I know where Ange is. Excuse me. And I know where Otherworldly is. And a number of others who have been in here. Yes. Specifically LM. L period M period. Regarding those. Oh. I can't think of the name of it. Oh, TT. Regarding that specific family that she's talking about, also goes really well with the kernels. Yes, correct, Ange. Anyway, yeah, there are very specific things that work really, really well in protecting the body against targeting, energy weapon targeting. Protect your brain, protect your hearing, protect your vision. One of those well, not one of them. I've had a number of them, but I'm just gonna say it this way because it's the only way my brain can figure out how to say it at this second. One of those times that I got targeted, my eyeballs were burning. I mean, they went after hardcore. They went after to try to make me blind. And for almost 4 days, I had blurred vision to where I was almost blind. I could still see, but it was like a complete haze over my eyes. The other US, Michigan. Okay. Hey, Mr. B and friends. Hey, Terry. I'm glad to see you here, hun. But yeah, there's a couple of products that I use that are very, very specific to vision. And thank God I've been using them because they are what has protected my eyeballs and the muscles and the ligaments and the nerves and blah 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 blah. I seriously, thank God I'd been taking it for, I think, what is it? 2-3 years. It was before I got targeted. It was just before I got targeted with energy weapons. So, I'm glad you're here, hon. So look into things like that, things that protect the eyes. Certain supplements, vitamin supplements, certain herbs that can protect the eyes. Oh, you people keep trying. Crack me the fuck up sometimes. It's just, you're so ridiculous. Anyway, and quite honestly, I hope the one that is pushing the button, doing the trigger, and doing the ordering of it, I hope you rot in hell. I really hope that your soul cord is remanded and you're taken out and put what I call the other side prison, because there is another side prison, where your soul, I hope, will stay for at least a good 1,000 years. Anyway, so those are the things to do, is to protect the vision, protect the hearing, protect the nerves, protect the cell, each cell in the body. Well, find out what can do that. Do your research. Be good. Anyway, on that note, I'm gonna go. Yes, Ange, thank you. Repair. So, think about those things that I've talked about. Do your research. Good night, my dear. Yes, it's good to see you soon. Much love to everybody. And I don't honestly know what I'm going to talk about next week, but I am back. And we're now, and I know I talked about this over the weekend or last week or something, but so the S4 Paranormal Bunker has its own YouTube, I couldn't think, YouTube channel. Well, mostly because I haven't had my own vitamin supplements yet. Because I really wanted to do this tonight. Even though I didn't know if I was going to be able to. So we've got our own YouTube channel now. We're no longer on Spreaker. Hang on. Trying to get there. Let's see if I can find it. There we are. Here is the link. There we go. Here is the link for that. That is a Wednesday night show. There we go. Oops, hit a button. There we go. That's for the Wednesday night shows, 10 p.m. Pacific time. I think it's 1 a.m. Eastern, but it's definitely 10 p.m. Pacific. Every Wednesday, and I can't remember what next week is. Hang on a second. I had to write. I write stuff down because of that. There's so much going on. Protection methods. So next week is all about protection methods regarding paranormal and how to go about that. And we've got a special guest next week. Her name is Bree Stevens. And they own a I cannot think of what the store is called. Anyway, so she's going to come on and be a guest next week. And it ought to be interesting. So anyhow, oh, thank you, Ange. Bye, Terry. Anyhow, so that's what's going to be on next week, and I'll figure out something to talk about for next week for me. So Wednesday night, 10 p.m. for the S4 Paranormal Bunker. The link says at the at symbol, the S, no dash, the S, and then the number 4, and then bunker. If you want to find us. Anyway, on that note, and then of course, I'm Restore Belief with Nikki. And I am on 7 p.m. Thursday nights. And I will continue to be that way. So, might change it periodically. I don't know. Like when I got sick, I had to change it. Anyhow, have a good weekend, folks. Take very good care of yourself. Get plenty of protein. Look into protein levels, guys. Please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Much love to you all. Bye, guys.